So Matter has this model here, which we'll talk about in a few seconds here. Just before I go there, I just want to quote Bob Proctor, right? So in life, like Stephen Covey would say, right, there's being proactive or reactive, right? The positive angle to life is being proactive, like uh, the scripture would say, right? If you see, if a wise man sees trouble from afar and makes the right correction, preparation, a, 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 a fool sees trouble but does nothing about it, right? So being proactive, knowing this different possible angles to things helps us to be able to think ahead, right, and make the right adjustment, have a communication, have an understanding with our partner, so that we have a working plan. And Matter had two models just put together, in this line, money relationship models. The left one here is the what she terms a negative circle, and the right one is a positive circle. So let's just run through that model here. Uh, so pretty much we in a negative angle, because of the difference in money story, people tend to want to avoid it. Hey, let's not talk about it, but that only leads to bigger problems, right? A problem you don't solve becomes a monster in the house, right? And it's only going to get more difficult, to solve, because when you avoid it, then you have uncommunicated expectation, right? Not communicating it doesn't take the expectation away. You're expecting the other person to just figure it out, right? But the other person can't read your mind, right? Mind reading is not a prerequisite for marriage, right? Mind reading is not a prerequisite for marriage, right? So if you need something, if you want something, you need to let your partner go know, and not expect that they will know by some telepathic, process, right? Because you don't tell them, the expectations are not met. There are assumptions, but those assumptions, like would say, is the lowest level of knowledge, right? Where those assumptions are wrong, because you have not communicated, you have not found out, you have not asked the questions. So that will lead to misunderstanding. Misunderstanding will lead to conflict, which will lead to further avoidance, and the vicious circle that goes on, which spirals into divorce, or breakdown in the relationship. Uh, a positive angle to it, like we say, is, hey, understand yourself, be self-aware. What is my money imprint? What is my money story? Right? And you're able to discuss this with your partner. This is who I am. This is where I'm coming from. Able to then understand your partner also. This is who my partner is. And then find a common ground, for one another. Find common ground for you, find a common ground for her, find a common ground for the we, right? Those are the three persons need to be served in the relationship for it to be mutually beneficial, right? Because when you then have a communication, then you can gain perspective on the way forward, right? You have a meaningful connection of all three, right? Me, you, and we. And you can then, that gives you a ground or a matching order, a war plan, to go out there and be financially empowered, right? And it's a circle, because you keep on, as you evolve, right? You get to understand the things that are changing, and the me, you, we, and there's a continual communication of what the changes might be, right? But this is life giving, this is life sucking, right? So that's the basic difference between the two. All right. So, like what Tim Keller would say, like Stephen Covey would teach us, right? Reaction leads to confrontation, anger, disappointment, hurt, right? Which obviously will lead to avoidance, right? But when you gain perspective and understanding, and are conscious or aware of each other's needs, or money stories, money imprints, right? Then you're able to move from confrontation to communication and working together as well, to gain perspective. So uh, so that moves you from negative assumption to positive understanding, as you all discuss on the issues, right? Obviously, with confrontation, you grow apart, right? With communication, it brings you together, right? And having a strong positive money connection in relationship will propel you forward in your ability to hand, grow, and enjoy together, right? So to affect positive change, we need to first understand what it is that we want to change and then start from within, right? It's again, like we've all talked about, it's leaving the inside out approach, right? Knowing who I am, and with who I am, going to the marketplace, right? To as it were, uh, engage with who I am, right? Who am I? My strengths, my weaknesses, right? My vision, my dreams, right? And I'm able to engage as myself. All right. And we're able to do that also with one another.